Hold it, everyone. Your attention, please.
When you're surrounded by people who love you unconditionally, you begin to love yourself unconditionally.
You get up there and you just put your heart into it, like you turn into a completely different person. You just get up there and roar as loud as you can and make sure everyone in the room hears you and hears your truth and hears your story.
I think it'd be easy to say, oh, it's crazy, it's exploded, but it makes perfect sense. The relationships that they build, the art that's created.
With the way that we've done Movement 515 and the way that we've brought poetry and slam poetry to not only Roosevelt but DMPS, we've created something special.
I never thought that when we came to Des Moines Public Schools that this would be my job.
Enjoying the program, it's fun, it's lit, the performances are good, there's a lot of positive energy.
Movement 515, Lang & Rollins, Urban Leadership, RunDSM has had a huge impact on my life.
This program is my life. It saved my life.
It's actually a great program. It helps the community. It helps kids to, stay out of trouble.
I really like it. It's a great way to build a community. Great way to find yourself and find your character. And it's a great way to really grow.
I mean, it just helps your child, period. They're able to feel love and acceptance, which most kids don't feel that, especially teenagers. They just have this thing about, nobody loves me, nobody cares. In general. Yes, teenagers do. Don't.
We don't sound like that.
Yes, they do.
I'm really enjoyed it, and then I hope more kids will try to do it, and I'm really support all of them.
I think that everyone should come and show us love because we just want to spread love and we want you to feel that love in return.
RunDSM, it's this play on Run DMC, and we really want our students to literally run Des Moines and be the leaders of the city.
We started with one student and now we have, anywhere to 100. And for the public schools to embrace that, that's a dream job.
Movement 515 is our weekly workshop series that focuses most specifically on spoken word poetry, but luckily we've been able to add graffiti writing and breakdancing with the help of local and national artists, Asphate and Ason.
Movement 515! Movement 515! Yeah! Yeah!
When Movement 515 walks in the door, it's not just, oh, there goes Rashawn from Movement 515. It's everyone from Movement 515 walking in there as a squad.
If you say, hey, have you ever heard of Movement 515? You heard of RunDSM? Usually there's someone that's like, yeah, I've heard of them. They performed here. Or they were up at Iowa State, or they were at Iowa. They did something at Principal.
Every school in the metro has a squad. That's what we call it. So East, Hoover, Lincoln, North, and Roosevelt.
It's the only program where all 5 high schools in the district come together as a community to build. We're not coming together to compete against each other, to trash talk. We're there to support and love each other and learn from everyone's experiences.
When we started at Harding Middle School, there was a really negative stigma of youth in the community. A lot of people in the school themselves would talk negatively about the youth. You go outside, you tell people where they work, they'd be like, oh my God, bless you, is there violence on a regular basis? This was not our experience at all with the kids there. And so out of that, really came this idea of how do we show the community that these stigmas that they have about these youth are totally incorrect and false.
I'm doing something new. I could be sitting at home doing absolutely nothing, sleeping my life away. But instead, by joining this program, I'm on stage.
When you're on the stage and you're getting free, you can cry if you want to and just be, I hate saying this word because it's hard to say, vulnerable on stage and just being you without caring about what anyone thinks.
I slept in parks when I was homeless because no matter my situation, I've always felt the need to play. I rested in pissy clothing, pondering emotional distress. I'm sorry, but I shouldn't have to apologize for being myself. I won't apologize for being God's unfinished artwork. Have you colored me in khaki? Have you framed me till I can't outbox the slave you've attached me to? I fear of losing people due to my ego. I can't lie, I sometimes fear losing myself.
Lin-Manuel Miranda says that writing yourself out of your circumstances is one of the most hip-hop things you can do. And I absolutely believe that. Using writing as a means to take yourself out of a bad situation to a better place, that is so powerful. That is so worthy of respect.
It gets to be a family. Those kids are tight. They care about each other. I mean, they help each other kind of work through the problems that they're having. And really, there's no topic that is too far out of bounds for any of these kids that want to do this to talk about.
Even though it sounds so corny, like, we really are like a family, and like, even like before you know someone, you kind of feel like you know them, because like when you write poetry, like, you're like putting your soul into it. So like, it could be the first time I see you and you're gonna hear my life story.
It's not just in Movement 515 that we hang out. Like, we hang out outside of workshop and outside of poetry.
After school, every Wednesday, and I made like a little lunch for them, and everybody was here, like, kicking it.
I was like 16, and I remember going to Julio's mom's house and her making us tacos. Like, it was just like, we were friends built in already.
When I came to Movement, I felt like I could be brave enough to just act like Jaleisha. Like, I didn't have to be anything else or anything special or anything more. Like, who I am, my poetry, my voice, my story is enough.
I remember being younger, and it's kind of like, oh, you're a part of Movement 515. Like, how do I do that? How do I get into it? And like, that was a big part of it, was students kind of coming to you and telling you that they wanted to get into it, but they weren't sure how to. And you're just like, just show up. Like, that's it. Like, and you will be a part of this family. Like, all you need to do is be there.
So, in case you need a reminder of the chant, everybody in the 515. See this?
Christopher and Emily, they're not my parents, but I feel like they made me.
They're not the typical teachers. They actually care about you, I would say.
We are so excited to have you here. My name is Miss Lang. I'm one of the instructors of Urban Leadership at Central Campus.
My name is Mr. Rollins, but you can call me Rolo. Rolo. Please remember that listening is sacred. We should be listening to each other, right?
What you do for each other when somebody stumbles or when somebody does get emotional on stage is you lift each other up. And that is everything that we wanted to happen with this movement.
Christopher and I were hired to teach at Harding Middle School the same year. Then we started to do this work, with Share the Mic and Brave New Voices and Movement 515.
I think that they are some of the most hardworking, most dedicated, most compassionate, most passionate, most loving people that I've ever met and that I ever will meet in my entire life.
Emily has always had this mantra of like, always lead with love. And it's something that I've totally taken into my own life. And their mentorship with me, and then the way that they've taught me to mentor other youth, has been like, moved mountains in my life.
I would just say what sets them apart from everybody else and why I care about them so much is because they care about me so much, you know?
I knew that I wanted to write a letter to our unborn daughter. We kind of joked like, ha ha ha, wouldn't it be so funny if I emceed the final slam? Because I was hugely pregnant and I'm gonna do this piece, and it was kind of like a joke, and then it was like I really felt like it was something that I wanted to do because I don't get up and perform a lot.
10 things I want to say to the baby girl forming her warrior wings in my stomach. 1. The first time I felt you move, I swear there were fireflies kissing my insides.
Watching Miss Lang perform the piece to Ruby, oh my gosh. I had Hattie Kelly and Susan Stacy on my side, who were both part of the Brave New Voices team. And I just remember sobbing because they've always kind of called Miss Lang Mama Lang, always. And so to see her do this piece about her daughter, it was to Ruby, but it was to us.
6. Find the sister in every woman you collide with and stand beside her. Secure solace sitting in circles of women who elevate your elegance, but remember to embrace the unlovely ones. The vile in some sisters may take time to scatter, but some pieces have more roughly cut edges. Pick up her edges. Protect them in the square-shaped shirt pocket closest to your heart and deliver them like love letters when she is ready to be whole again. And never stop loving.
It made me particularly grateful to have a mom who's similar to Miss Lang, like a mom that's always going to support me no matter what, a mom that loves me unconditionally.
10. I know I call you mine, but you are always yours. All yours.
It was just so deep in the way that she did it. It was right. It was the right moment to do it.
Cause I love hearing Miss Lang spit. Like Miss Lang hardly spits, but when she spits, she knows she got something good.
At the end of our second year, we threw a show at Hoyt Sherman. I think it was our first slam to determine the team that we were going to take to Brave New Voices. And a teacher at East, Kayla O'Connor, came up to us and was like, "Oh my God, we have got to do this at East."
I grew up in Buffalo Center, Iowa, which has about 1,000 people. I feel like if you include animals. Oh, vegetables! How dare you make me feel healthy inside?
Miss O'Connor is like the life of the party.
At every slam I can ever remember, you can hear Miss O'Connor like screaming somewhere.
No, listen. You should do a like $7.20 remix to 1738, and I'm like, hey, what's up, hello?
Movement baby. That's poems you do. That's not me.
Okay. Yeah, because I do funny poems. For like a while there, I was trying to find a program where I fit, and I did a couple other after-school programs. And as soon as I went to that first show, Julio was in it, and he was still in middle school. And now to see him like a junior in high school, it's like I've seen him grow, and I didn't even know him at the time. So I remember walking out, and I was crying, and I was like, I have to do this.
I think that's really dope. Like I never knew, like she saw me perform and like took that and was like, yo, I need to be in this.
Anyone that leaves a show will feel like, I'm gonna go home and write a poem. It's like when you leave a musical and you wanna walk out and sing and dance, right? You know you're not good at it, but you wanna try. That's how it is when you leave a show. Listen!
Listen to these poems!
Everybody in the 515, put your hands up high, 'cause it's about to get loud. The best thing about Movement 515 is that you don't have to be athletic. You don't have to have the best body or the physique. You don't have to be stylish. You know, you can be all of those things, but you don't have to be anything to be here. I always tell my students, just come. One time. Give me a Tuesday and a Thursday of your time, and if you don't find something that you like, I'll never ask you to come again. But if you come and you feel leaving like you made friends, you laughed, you had a good time, you could be yourself, anything goes. You know, you can have any personality. They all come together and they fit in here. Doesn't matter who you are outside of those doors. When you come in here, it's like you come home. We're gonna welcome you with open arms. It doesn't matter what you've been through, who you are, what you come from, where you want to go. Every story counts.
We all know that black boys and commitment don't go hand in hand. I can still find pieces of hope in the way he wraps his hand around the football before he passes it to my older brother. I wish that I could catch something that beautiful, wish that he would pour all of his loves and his dreams into me, but I've never really been that athletic. The only time I run is from confrontation. I knew that when my father came home smelling of gun smoke and alcohol, it was time to lace up my track shoes. My father is a veteran. She always just brings like a lot of like energy, and she just can always make you feel good and just hype about everything.
I think we need to bring it in for one last chance, and then you guys can go early. Strawberry shortcake, banana split. Our poems are the
make a difference in the world.
Alicia, don't forget your
Here,
pick up your trash. The school versus school slam is where all 5 high schools get together and we compete against each other. 4 rounds. So each student will throw up a piece unless you have a group piece. You get 3 minutes and 30 seconds technically. After that, it's a penalty. And then there's judges that score the pieces.
Whoever accumulates the most points at the end of the slam takes home the golden boombox, which is our trophy. And so far, East has never, dropped that trophy, so they're doing something right.
I wanted that golden boombox so bad, but North we was slacking a little bit.
The Golden Boombox, it might as well just be called East Boombox, honestly.
We're gonna go over the slam rules. Remember, it's not about the points, it's about the poetry. So it doesn't necessarily matter. I don't want you guys to get upset. Like if we pick you to represent our school, come write your name up on the board if you want to do a poem.
Oh, Connor, you want me to not write her name? You want to sign your name?
Spice it up. Add the flavor. You need to be in your mind thinking, what are my top 4? All right, because those are the people that are going to represent us. It's your vote.
Home isn't a house. It's a lost kingdom burned to the ground. Spewing from the ashes are my people's screams, now turned to dust. Retreating footsteps drowned in blood, leaving a trail. They tried to leave in a hurry. Home was never a home.
All right, next person. Juice.
Don't let them run off with another piece of you. I promise it gets better. I promise your love comes back again. In the midnight hours you cry, in the morning you conquer all.
Can I go next, Miss O'Connor? Who are you? I know I'm a newcomer, but it's like I'm in a coma, because the combination of your combat and comical commands makes you a comedian. My comebacks are come down, and the conflict between me and you doesn't comfort, but makes me confused.
Well, America, let me tell you this. The land you stole didn't belong to you, but you don't care. You killed the innocent for their differences when they only wanted the same as you.
You care about family, you're great with kids, and you're always happy. Yet you make me feel so, what's the word? Empty. Whenever I'm with you, I feel like I'm in a whole different dimension, but I know you don't feel the same.
I know you don't. It's time for us to do our votes. We are all here. This is all about love. This is not about favoritism. It's all about what poems you want to represent our school. Okay. So if you do not get picked, do not feel upset. This was not your show. There will be plenty more. All right, if you want Miss Cole, aka Jaleisha. Everybody raise their hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
You better!
You can smile. She's like trying to remain composure, but
I know she is.
Inside, she's like, yeah, that's right. I killed it.
I like school versus school slams. Like, it's a little friendly competition, even though we crush the other schools every time, but you know. Anyways.
School versus school is such a cool event because you really see how hyped students can get. It's not only school pride, but community pride. I mean, nobody holds it against each other whether or not you get first place. It's not even about the golden boombox. It's about giving each other positivity, supporting people, and supporting poets who have never been on stage before.
Poets are not allowed to use any props, costumes, phones. If you forgot your poem, that's your fault. You should have had it memorized.
You have these 5 comprehensive high schools, and if each of them have enough youth to put a squad up, why would we not do that? If we're preparing them to slam to get on this team to go to Brave New Voices, you know, what better way to prepare them by putting them in those scenarios, you know, during the school year?
I don't know how to talk to you. You see, that's why I wrote this poem for you. See, whenever I get around you, my heart, it beats so fast and so loud, I feel it's gonna hop right out of my chest, and if it does, will you catch it?
I believe that everyone makes mistakes, and people call them learning experiences, and sometimes sugarcoat the fact that you fucked up. I believe that forgiveness is often mistaken as a one-way street, and forgiving yourself is usually the hardest part.
I've been in the community long enough that when I watch students get up on stage and spit, the reaction from the audience is almost as if we had the top billing band in-house. The way that we're chanting and the way that we're screaming for each other, I'm telling you, I lose my voice after every single show. I don't know, can you imagine bringing that to the entire community?
You've been sober for a minute. You mess with me, it's over. I put you 6 feet deep in an eternal coma. I lose patience. I get surgical. And you remain patient. Now that I got that off my chest. I can be chill as hell sometimes, but on my other times I think it can be crazy as hell. The beauty and the beast, the nerd, the nigga, the heads, the tails, that Two-Face type shit. Currently, y'all see the beauty. Be careful trying to wake up the beast.
I think the most exciting and beautiful part of a school versus school slam for me is just seeing that camaraderie and seeing like just young people and their parents and these teachers just jumping out of their seats to support these kids.
And the other thing about it is it's $1. So I tell my students, I'm like, well, what could you do with $1? Said, if you had $1.07, you could get a McDouble. And how long would that last you? Or you could have a full night of comedy, friends, humor, laughter, love, tears.
Second place goes to Hoover. We have one place left. And the golden meat box is going to me. I'm out. Y'all take care of it. I'm playing. It's going to East. Stack chairs. So all of you can help me. Alrighty, stack chairs. Please stack chairs. Please stack chairs.
My name is Shalonda Johnson. My daughters are amazing. They are.
My name is Jazzy Johnson, and my sister is Jaleisha. She's a really good poet, and last year she started movement.
Words Taylor, you know. Yeah, he came into my ambassadors class, and he gave like this speech, and he talked about movement. And then Elandra, she was in my reading class, and she was talking about it, and I thought it was really cool. So I just joined.
Summertime. She springs up just when you need her. Have you ever noticed how much better you feel when the sun is shining like summer smile? Can melt all your pain away. She makes girls with thick thighs feel nice enough to wear little shorts and crop tops. Thank you for helping make all bodies acceptable. Thank you for giving us Gray's Lake and cookouts, for making us believe that we have our own little beach living inside of us. Beauty lives inside of us like fish live in the sea. We are swimming in everything great about being a woman, so don't get offended when little boys get defensive and call you ugly beaches. I'm sure they just couldn't find an island to land their boatload of insecurity, so they threw them on you. Don't let any man ruin summertime's glow. She put on way too much highlight for that.
When she joined, she was telling me about it and how fun it was and how like energetic the like environment was, and so I tried it this year, and this is my first year too. To see how she grew, it's like amazing to see how much 1 year can do for her, and she's gotten way better, and I just like how she speaks. It's so powerful, and she's a way more positive person than she was before.
Jaleisha is the embodiment of energetic reciprocity. Anytime she walks in a space, if you listen to like the first 10 or 12 things she says, it's usually complimenting someone on something to uplift them. And that's, you can't teach youth that. Like, it's a very natural thing with her. You know, I think we can challenge youth to be like that, but to her, it's just, it's what she does.
Jaleisha, before she got involved with the program,
I was sad.
She was sad. Not sad as in depressed or anything like that, but our home life hasn't been, you know, the best or ideal. And so, and she's sensitive and she takes a lot of that. She carries a lot of that with her.
My father is a veteran, but he has been fighting all his life. We all know that black boy and soldier go hand in hand. We all know that black boys die with guns in their hands and nothing in their pockets. We all know that black boys die with nothing in their hands when reaching for their wallet. I wish that my father's love was a lifetime enlistment. But we all know that black boys and commitment don't go hand in hand. Maybe it's because the only thing in this world promised to them is a bullet.
First of all, like seeing her up there, her even just even brave enough to go up there, but to see her to be able to express it and then her be happy, it's like you could see like almost relief or, you know, like a freeing aspect to it. And it was amazing, and I was so proud of her, and I'm so glad she's in there.
Don't touch me.
And Half Pint's Poetry Slam is one Maddie? Do you know the details?
I think there's 11 other elementary schools that are going to come together for the first ever elementary school versus school slam.
Give it up for our poet mentors. There's
going to be group poems and there's some indie poems, and I'm so proud of them and I'm so excited. So you guys should come out and see our little babies.
Yeah. Are you nervous? I ain't never scared.
Half pints? Half pints?
My voice is powerful because it lets me say what I want to say. Silence. But I am not afraid. As tears rush down my face, my fear of you slowly washes away. I stand up and dust myself off because I am so.
All the poets out there, I have a question for you. Are you nervous? Like, I've only been in a year, and like people don't think that when they meet me, because it's like I get to do so many things that the veterans do get to do, and I think part of that is because I'm on youth board and I work for Half Pints.
Are you excited to be here tonight? Alright, so I know we have a lot of elementary schools in the house, so can we hear a little chant or something from Finley? Eat that poetry! Eat that poetry!
No matter how many fights we get into, no one has my sister's back like I do. I can't be broken because I am as powerful as all the superheroes combined. I can't be broken because I can hold myself together like the year. I can't be broken because I am the truth. I never lie. I can't be broken because I am as strong as metal.
Can we take a moment to acknowledge that she's a second grader?
Oh man, like there is nothing like seeing a, fierce second grade girl get up there and just like spit her truth and own that mic.
So when I look into the mirror, I know I have an internal star shining inside me.
I think the people in the back are hyping up, so I'm not reading these until y'all get hyped.
I want you guys to look around and just salute yourselves. Like, you guys came out to support these dudes right here. Like, you know we're growing. We're here. We're in your schools next year. So this fall, when you see Half Pints Poetry, when you see that permission slip come home, fill it out, bring it back, so they can participate next year. I salute you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. Give it up for our Grand Slam champions.
I teach current events, also known as hip hop. It's a class where we look at different issues within students' community using hip hop and different hip hop art forms.
This class is about learning about life issues, and we are recently learning about violence, gun violence, racial profiling.
So I had students in groups of 3. And then I gave each group a topic.
We all have different parts. So I did the poetry, Anthony did the photograph, and Nathan, he drew out this picture actually, and he cut it into a stencil and then he spray painted it.
We looked this up on Google, and we all helped take pictures, and we all helped write it.
So her poem is about domestic violence, and it's coming from the perspective of a mother who is being abused and her children are watching. There's one street art piece that is my favorite. His was also domestic violence. And he chose, the nice thing about stenciling is just replicating or repeating the stencil. And then he has a statistic: a woman is beaten every 9 seconds in the United States. So the other display case has some of their identity stencils on there too. So it kind of shows some of the stencil work that they did. Hey Daniel.
What's up, camera? Where are we going?
I'm showing him this. But can you go to where you're supposed to be? So they had a choice of either doing a stencil of like their silhouette. So I had Karina, who music is really important to her, so she has a stencil that she made of her holding her violin. I teach literacy in the morning and I teach hip hop in the afternoon, but so much of what we do in hip hop is literacy skills, reading, writing, the street art, all those project-based things can be take into the literacy class. So next year our goal is to have hip hop available for all students as a way to do a project-based literacy class.
If there's anything that we're really proud of, it's kind of getting those elements of hip hop embedded into a school system to say these art forms are equally as valuable as any art form that's ever existed within the system, and we got to create feeder patterns that allow youth access and opportunities to, to experiment with those art forms as well.
It's a really good class, and I hope more people get involved with it.
I think this class is just awesome, and a lot of people should take it.
Oh, we did it! Hey, I'm gonna Snapchat me.
I hope that's the energy you wanted.
What you doing, Connor?
Playing Get on Top.
I don't know. I would say my life at home is pretty simple. I just go to school, come home, probably like super tired. I just like eat something and then take a nap, and then this is all I do.
Kevin got involved, I think, like last year. I got involved after Kenny introduced me to the graffiti workshop.
I went to one of the shows, I think it was like Teen Summit, like day 2 or something. And then I saw them do their thing, and then I went to finals of last year, and I was just like, wow, this is really cool, and I'm gonna be up there someday.
But please welcome to the stage, Kevin.
Kevin Haas' poem really touched me. Like, he was explaining like his disability, and I was just sitting there like, you have to be like really brave to talk about something like that.
I know that when I was born, my mother almost died the same day. It was her self-determination for why she's here today. I know that when I turned 1, my sister always tried to kill me. She was just seeking attention from an audience consisting of my parents. I know she didn't mean to. I know that when I turned 2, I found my first best friend. He was so amazing, he glowed like an angel sent from the heavens. That boy's my very own brother. I know we would fight, but for now I was okay with loving each other.
The first time he ever wrote it, I was playing video games and minding my own business, and then I heard some words that really hit the heart, and I tried not to tear up so hard, so I just stopped playing video games and I walked away because I wasn't trying to cry in front of my brother, but like for him to like be able to acknowledge what he is and what could become of that, it's very beautiful.
Leading up to our first share of the mic, Kevin wrote this incredible piece out of the most simple prompt. I know. That's the prompt. I know.
I know that when I turned 6, everybody else was 7, but I was the only kid in the first grade that can draw. I slayed paper dragons with pencils. Life is an art in itself. No stencils. I know that when I turned 8, they drew my blood on a test sheet. I could see the pain in Dad's eyes as if we knew the answers already. The results came back with Mama from Chicago with job opportunity. I passed the exam. I know now that I'm diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, and I did not know what the hell the doctors meant by that.
I think what makes a person a good performer is if they can make you feel how they feel. Like, I have no idea what it feels like to be in Kevin's shoes, but like when he performs that poem, I can put myself in his place, and I don't feel sympathy for him. Like, I feel empathy. Like, I feel like there's a connection, and I think everyone in the audience felt that way.
I know that when I turned 15, my best friend died. 808s is still relevant in the winter. I know even emotion, I am still. I know sadness, I know fear. I know isolation, I know I should be dead now. But then when I turned 16, I smiled. I know I can no longer accept darkness where the body is just a home for the soul. I know my bones are brittle, but my heart is thick. I know I'm sick, but I don't feel like I'm numb to the hate. So I leave with love. I could die tomorrow, so please, live even when days are tough.
I would admit that my disease and just like a bunch of other things has just like depressed me and like, just kind of like suppressed me from like my happiness for a while, and then I found something, that makes me feel like I'm normal again, like I'm okay.
Sometimes I want to cry because I'm too happy, because my children, because Kevin and then he got a little sister doing it too. I'm so proud of him.
I'm gonna win someday.
I'm gonna keep playing until you do.
My senior year, I was in urban leadership, which is all about the social history of the United States. I guess we take some global perspective as well, but it's all about Black Lives Matter, Black Power, Black Panther Party, anti-war movements, feminist movements, LGBTQ movements, and it's kind of all the history that you're never taught in any of your history courses.
It's really allowed us to meet so many youth from across the district because it's at Central. So you're getting young people from Lincoln and East and Hoover and Roosevelt and North, and you're seeing how all of them, they have this shared experience, but then all of their experience can also be very different based on the context of the school that they're at or the part of the city that they live in. And so to have a space where all of them can share and kind of, you know, talk about those experiences together and see the city as a whole, there aren't a lot of spaces in Des Moines public schools where that can happen.
It's not a typical high school class, and that's what I really enjoy about it. We tackle the topics that would be like taboo in like normal classes. They ask you difficult questions.
On your whiteboards, okay, we're gonna get into Stonewall. Create a pro and con list about whether or not like rioting is justifiable. Like, what good things might happen from people rioting, what bad things happen from people rioting. And then as a group, like, throw things out and see which side has more things on it. Does that make sense? And then when you're done as an individual, answer this question. Is rioting ever justifiable or a means to a solution?
Usually we have 20-ish minutes where we kind of get like a historical background on a certain subject, and then we get to like have open dialogue and discussion. So sometimes they get really heated. Oh my gosh. Like last unit, we were doing like abortion, and it was just like, but like, everyone respects each other at the end of the day, so I think that's really important.
And the most sacred thing that we do is we listen to each other.
Let's start with pros. What are positive things that could come out of a riot?
Change could come from what they are rioting for.
Absolutely, some type of social change. Louise.
A rioting brings far more attention to like topics.
Is that attention always positive though?
Not always.
The issue that they were rioting for is completely lost, and we only focus on the riot itself. We don't even think about why they're rioting, right? Jason?
Changing minds. That's really it.
Okay, you think riots can change other people's minds?
I've never been a part of a riot. I want to, but
why do you want to? Like what? Like, why do you say that?
This is gonna bring to my point. It brings community to me. Like all these people are getting together to fight a cause or take out frustrations or their oppression that's like built up. It's like a shaken can. So you open it like.
What are bad things that come from rioting?
I would just say like sooner or later you're gonna lose control.
Like you know what your limits are, but you have no idea what somebody else is going to do.
How many of you were awake when they had the press release Officer Darren Wilson would not be indicted? How many of you were awake? What time of night did they release that information?
Like after there was
8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Why was the timing intentional though? What time of day was it? Start.
Night.
It's night. Yeah. People are fired up. They knew the verdict that morning, and they waited all day to let people gather, build up that anger, build up that anticipation. Linda just hit the nail on the head. It's like they shook up the can all day, and then it's intentional. You have to think about the strategery there.
And then you gotta think why. Well, what happens to the narrative then?
It's skewed.
You can move away from the actual non-indictment, and then what are all the news organizations focused on? The riot. So the whole purpose of the riot was lost, right?
I remember taking AP United States history and slavery being like a piece that this was this big. And then when you're a part of Movement 5 and 5 and you take classes like urban leadership, you kind of understand like disenfranchisement, marginalization, and like the way certain voices in America have been completely wiped out or been told that they don't matter or the government doesn't show up for them.
Showing affection to someone of the same sex was against the law.
Yeah. Just like it was for interracial couples.
Or if someone assumed that you were homosexual, they categorize that as a mental illness.
Think about the way that racial profiling works. Laws that were written that allow people to racially profile based on who they feel was an immigrant, right? Same thing, if you were holding hands with someone that was of same sex, they may assume things about you and arrest you, and they had every right to do that, right? So eventually, these people got fed up and fought back. Why do you believe people felt empowered to fight back at Stonewall? Take like 1 quick minute on your web voice, and then we'll open it up.
Why was this moment their time?
I feel like it's a chance for us to look at history through our lenses, the lenses of females, the lenses of African Americans, of immigrants.
The historic beginnings of our modern day pride parades and celebrations. You don't have to believe violence is okay. No one is making that argument, by the way. You just have to understand the anger.
So in conclusion, don't be outraged by the riots. Be outraged that black children are not safe in America, and do something about it, right? So, we are out of time, but when we come back, I want you to think about, like, what is this author's argument? Like, what's the point of the purpose? What is this author trying to say? Do you agree or disagree with this author's argument?
We don't have to have a filter in that class because the setting is so intimate, and because we know our teachers and all the people in that class care about us and care about the same things we care about. And then everyone just willing to learn and just be open to everything that comes into the space.
Does anybody want to go ahead and get it out the way? Don't all jump at once.
So at the end of each urban leadership unit, students are required to do an artistic project where they express what they've learned throughout that unit. There are a multitude of ways that they can showcase their understanding. The core of those are obviously in the elements of hip hop.
Whether you're doing like a poem or a mixtape or street art, you and your partner or you yourself, you go up on stage and you just kind of like explain your thought process of why you wanted to make the piece, why the piece is important to you, why is it important for society to see the things the way you see it, and you kind of like go through like your process, and it's really cool. Like the poems are amazing and the art is like awesome.
Woman, something like holy mixed with golden dark galaxies, God's masterpiece. Rose from concrete, you rose from the worlds to see, but you can't pick a rose with your bare hands. You use gloves. We grow thorns to keep us safe. Woman resilient, woman brilliant, woman persistent. The world's dying, Mother Earth is crying, so men straighten up. Respect your woman. Moving on to this. What I did was made an afro and a gold's face because women are gold no matter how they feel about it. What I did here was, put everything that the media looks at as beauty. And it's such a thing that once women just turn into that, they are called things like this. No matter how women are depicted on the bottom, which is the very bottom because that ain't shit, they're more than that. They're better than that. So, that's what it looks like.
Well, we had the basic idea of starting with the silhouette of a woman. That was the first thing that we all kind of agreed on, and then we just kind of threw things in together, and this was the final result. I think our bodies are the thing that really will truly ever belong to us in this lifetime. So that's our own thing. Like, we get to do whatever we want with it. Nobody else gets to tell us what to do with it.
I love the chicken wire fence. It's subtle but very strong. I love the I am mine forever and how it kind of just flows with the hair.
All right, y'all, well done.
There are a multitude of things that they can choose from, and even if a young person has an idea that we haven't thought of, we're very open to them coming to the table and saying, here's what I was thinking, I'd like to do a project on this, are you cool with that?
Consent is a selective.
Silence is not consent.
Just like your mama taught you when you were younger, yes means yes and no means no. There is no gray area when it comes to consent.
We've been taught that there are so many different ways around consent, and I think that very literally what we saw, this black and white, it's black or white. There's no gray area with consent.
I thought it was well thought out. It was well done. It was well created. It was smart. I could easily see it like playing out here with all the other videos that have been done in film and broadcasting. I think it's as strong, if not stronger, than some of those things. So like, don't ever put that work down. Like, I also think that even though you were kind of laughing about your voice in the video, it sounded really polished and really professional and really clear.
Women's bodies seen as objects, used for pleasure and shamed when undesirable. We grow gardens, each our very own florist. We don't need your eyes to flourish, your common hands where they don't belong. Our flowers are not grown for your picking. You pick us apart like you magically fell from the sky. Like you didn't sit and soak up soil for 9 months. Like your mother didn't water herself just so she could watch you bloom.
I love the fact that you compared Owen's body to flowers, and I love the fact that you speak on how she's durable and she doesn't need a man to blossom, and also the fact that like men wouldn't be able to blossom if it wasn't for a woman. So how can you down the person that made you? Like,
it gets them up in front of their peers. It gets them to, you know, get that kind of code switching in a more formal setting, but it also allows them to experiment in an art form that maybe they haven't ever gotten an opportunity to experiment with, also while simultaneously synthesizing pretty important information. And how can you now use art as a form of activism or to speak on something that's important that other people should know about?
It's the day you get off school when you're in high school and in middle school. But once you learn all this history behind it and the history of the civil rights movement, which you learn in urban leadership, it feels so purposeful.
If you walk a mile in my shoes, you'll see slave master blood on my boots. Walk a mile in my shoes and your feet will blister. They're Stacey Adams. And it's to distract them from my skin and point them to the way I carry myself. Animosity has been a new love for me these days, and you can see that in my poetry views. From my bedroom window, I see snow learning how to be warm again, washing away down the sewer, and that is a metaphor for my blackness being ripped away from me by those who perceive me, and everyone wants to perceive me. I have strangled every obstacle in my life.
Because their bodies are going to bounce to the beat of those rounds of pops of gunshots the same way they do to their favorite Tupac song. God, don't let them Martin, Champion, Brown, me.
Yes, sister.
No justice.
No peace.
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 We want to be protesting peacefully. We have the right to assemble. We want to be going into spaces that to remind people of the importance of the date and why we're here, and why our youth voices are necessary and important.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
379, what's your whereabouts?
Capital Square.
I don't think that I expected some of our young people to be as brave as they were. Some of them were like so gung-ho about, oh no, I'm going in this business and I'm gonna spit my poem regardless of whether I get booted or not.
A black man with a mind, so they scared of my common sense. How common is this? Dr. King in my throat, so I have to speak loud.
Woo!
I got bricks for legs, so I have to stand proud. I move forward with my one-person stampede. Only thing is, I don't think this world is ready for me.
Glad you made it. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
Hands up.
Don't shoot.
I can't stand up and I can't stay still. My LGBTQ brothers and sisters getting killed on cue. I can't stand up, I can see the hues. This ain't what MLK died for, so today I ain't my P's and Q's.
It was so cool. I've never really been a part of like a protest or a march before. Me, I know this sounds kind of bad, but I like to piss off people for like the right reasons.
We're gonna be alright. All of us as a whole race, we're gonna be alright.
I was like, let's go.
March for King.
We march for King.
We march for King.
We march for King.
We march for Mike Brown.
We march for Mike Brown.
We march for Tamir Rice.
We march for Tamir Rice.
We march for Oscar Grant.
We march for Oscar Grant.
Some of them walked away with a little badge of honor, feeling like, you know, they were a part of something that maybe their parents were a part of, or their grandparents were a part of, and there was a lot of pride in that.
We gon' be alright. That's right. Hey, we gon' be alright. Hey, last time. Be alright. Hey, we gon' 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 be alright. Hey.
Thank you to the officers that allowed us to continue. Put them on Snapchat or wherever, let them know. We appreciate you all. Salute you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My sophomore year was right around finals time, and I saw like a poster on the wall about Brave New Voices, which I had actually watched a documentary with my dad, and I was like, oh, I'm really interested in writing. I was kind of like a closet writer, and I wrote poetry and I wrote fiction, but I didn't really share it with anyone. I was only in the movement for like a few months, and they were going to San Francisco to Brave New Voices, but just watch it, not actually participate.
And we had a young person, you know, who had an emergency in his family, and so he was no longer able to attend, and we were like, should we call Leah?
They were like, we don't know you very well, and you don't know us very well, but do you want to come to San Francisco with us? And I was like 16, and I was like, yes!
We took them with the intention of, you know, soaking up this culture so that we could at least like plant this seed here in Des Moines and see if something grew out of it. And I would argue that, you know, Leah became that sprout. Like, she's the one that came up out of that seed that then, you know, let everybody know we were gonna be all right. Like, we were gonna be able to go back and compete.
This poem is for the bitches. The ice princesses, solid and frozen hearts carved from Arctic stone, with jawlines so sharp they could cut you. Girls so bitter they bite, leave your mouth aching. This is for the evil stepsisters, the Ursulas, the queens of broken hearts. I'll tell you, they are deadly beautiful. They are the bossy and the terribly too honest, mouths on fire, jaw snapping, man-eater sirens of the sea. They will swallow you whole. When the boys ask, tell them, no, I don't need saving. Fuck being a princess, be the dragon, be fire-breathing and PMSing, be angry, girl, cause you got shit to be angry about.
They found something in her that she found very exciting. It has stair-stepped into, you know, getting a full-ride scholarship to go to Iowa. She's on a great creative writing program through them.
I think it really matured her. She got to be in a really great leadership role, got to mentor other students, and it really helped expand her writing by helping other kids learn to write. And I think that was a really big part of it, as far as her growing and being the wonderful young lady that she is that she's so mature. But I think Movement 515 had a ton to do with that.
Something my poets do that is incredible is that they continuously push themselves, they stretch themselves, they do research, they learn, and then they tell those stories on stages like this.
I've only seen her perform one time, but my mind was like it was, she's so good. And so if I make it on the team, I think it would be amazing for her to be one of my coaches.
Leah just took this leadership role in the movement, and everyone looked up to her, and everyone just respects her. It truly is because of the way that she approaches every situation with love, and the way that, like, she truly spends time trying to help young people define their voices.
And you will come back home limping after this war, and you will tell all the other girls that it isn't all about the love story. It's about the being in love with yourself story.
So when I was a young person, I used to watch BET all the time, and they had like this Saturday Teen Summit. We wanted to do an event, and so we started brainstorming, like, what are we gonna do? Like, what? And I was like, what if we put on a Teen Summit?
To see how our young people put this entire thing together, literally out of this, you know, us sitting in our urban leadership classroom watching, you know, one of these
YouTube BET Teen Summit videos.
Teen Summit videos. I remember when we showed the young people this, and they were kind of like, we're gonna do what?
Squad goals for days. Let's get it, boy.
We spent about a month in urban leadership class planning Teen Summit. The way that works is our students are broken up into different committees.
You talk about something being completely created by youth. They're running the town halls. They're the ones inviting the people from their home schools. You know, they're marketing it. They're creating all of the art for it.
So in your town halls, like David said, you'll be asked some really difficult questions, and we want you to be open and honest and vulnerable. And that means everybody's not going to agree on everything, but you have to give that another person that respect, and you have to trust that reading, writing, and listening are sacred to be able to always build that person up, even if they don't have the same exact views as you.
The morning is pretty heavy. You know, the kids all come together and they break off into groups of roughly 50 to 55 young people, and they immerse themselves in conversations regarding one very, very specific topic.
Today we talked about the media's influence on society, and we got specific with the body image, violence, and social justice that the media covers.
But we also did a plot twist that talked about the positives. There's negative portrayals and there's positive portrayals, and I think that today what we try to accomplish was kind of defining what those negatives are and what those positives are.
2 articles, both from Yahoo News, both on the same day dealing with Hurricane Katrina. On the left side, it's a white couple going through the waters of Katrina, and in the article it says white people find their survival needs. They find these items, and in the second photo, it's a black woman with the same items, but instead in the article, it's black people loot. And so, in just a change of one word, the media can portray something totally different based on the same situation.
How many of you watch the Disney Princess movie? Notice that there's always the girl is always the princess, the male is always the prince, and the girl always needs saving. So think about the gender roles and the gender identities and characteristics that we see in these movies because we're watching them as kids. Okay, so everybody's starting to talk, so let's open up the discussion.
Why is it that we portray the media as negative but spend so much time on it? We are the media. You are the media.
I mean, I'm sure all y'all heard the device is only as smart as the user. We gotta be smart enough to know what is positive and what is negative, get rid of the bullshit, be up on the real shit, and we good.
There's always gonna be negative stuff, but you can always counteract that with positivity. It's not like, I'm gonna drag you through the mud because of your opinion. No, I'm gonna challenge you. So you just gotta be smart with the way that you're thinking and talking to people.
I think what I want them to take away is just the idea of filtering what bad media is and what good media is, and really just to uplift each other.
Teen Summit is without question the #1 way that we've recruited young people for urban leadership. And I mean, now we have double the amount of requests that we can even take for urban leadership because young people get in that space and they get a taste for these conversations, and we tell them, this is a whole class at Central Campus. You can have these conversations and you can do these styles of art and work with, local and national teaching artists every day.
I went to Teen Summit and I did some painting with Asphate, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up. You want the balls in the can to go from the bottom to the top. What you're doing, this is ineffective. You want the balls to go from the bottom to the top, which means you're shaking like this. Boom. This thing right here is called a classic straight letter piece. The way you see the letters tick and talk like this, we call it a tick-tock, the alternating angle for it. This is a basic, regular style when it comes to graph. I need everybody to come and sign their name, one single tag. I'm gonna have half the group do it down there, the other half of the group do it right here. Leave enough space for the next person. The very first thing you ever do with a spray can must be a tag. You got a nickname? 4, 5, 6 letters? Even better. Leave space for your brothers and sisters. With a name like yours, what are we talking? K-E-N-N-Y, 5 letters? Should go no further than that. You pass that can to your homegirl or homeboy after you're done. Boom. All right. Next person, let's keep it moving because we still got to fill this thing with color. We're going to get to the real fun in a second. When you write graffiti, there are layers. There's a process you go in. The process we have gone in is we laid a sketch first, an initial outline. We then went in and we did a 3D color, a fill color. The last thing you do is your final outline. What is the final outline? It's the outline that you see in all of these pieces that defines it and pulls it out from the rest of the piece. So what we're gonna do before we do our final outline is we're gonna make sure that everything is cleaned up. This is kind of sloppy, right? Let me show you something. Not no more. Good, nice. And then just get a nice little point off to the side of it. There you go. So maybe this bubble is bigger. Maybe this one goes all the way there. Don't forget your technique. Keep it nice and cool.
That looks nice.
Yeah, I can mess with that, kid. What do y'all think? There are a lot of things that we can see and size up and do better next time, but I gotta say, for the first time out for a lot of y'all rock. Give yourselves a hand real quick. Good work.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. We brought in Joshua Bennett, who is one of the, if not the most prominent poet in the United States right now that's like, under the age of 30.
Just a little bit before Teen Summit started, I looked up his work on YouTube and I'm like, holy crap, like he's so good. He's an inspiration to me. So it was really cool to just, sit down and chop it up with him like he's my friend.
Does anyone want to share? I was born with the target on my back for a white man to practice on. When he finally empties his clip, he balls me up and tosses me into my coffin, and now I'm left coughing, choking on my supreme red blood, drowning in myself. I'm proud that I sacrificed myself for another young man of color. Didn't have to. Bullseye before a black boy, target practice before a human, but this is what it's like being made a martyr by white man murderers.
The very divisive personification gets like expanded, right? For so many of us that people try to make into objects every day. That's really powerful. Thank you.
I surfed the word ghetto, and I kind of did sentences of what ghetto people would say. Fuck money, get bitches. The hood raised me. Fuck 12. All I know is get money. Okay. Who the fuck are you talking to? And the last one is 3 kids, but don't know who the daddy is.
Oh. That's actually really interesting, because like, well, I'm from the hood, so I think part of what's interesting, I like fuck 12, and well, I'm on camera saying that. I like fuck, it's cool, I got a job, I don't care. So I like fuck 12 in particular because some of them are what people would label stereotypes, but there's such deep knowledge in that, right? Like, and it also means you know what the stereotypes are and you know that they're foolish. The fact that you can like name them off like that. So I said, oh, thank you. I find so often, especially when I was a younger poet, I could only write when I was sad or angry. And I think in part because of the fact that I care about y'all and y'all are human beings, I want y'all to get in the habit of writing about kindness and writing from a space of joy. Never feel like that's not good enough to give to the table. And thank y'all.
But I thought it was really cool because he kind of talked to us about how like our poetry doesn't always have to come out of anger or out of sadness, and I thought that was really important.
It was really crazy because like he's really laid back and like really nice, and it was like really weird because you don't know how people are gonna be when you first meet them and you follow their art and stuff like that. You don't know how they're gonna be, but he was really nice.
This year's showcase, obviously being hosted by Joshua Bennett, we were pretty strict about who got on stage and who didn't.
I think the performances were so amazing. Like that was some of the best performances I've ever seen in movement my entire time I've been there, and I was so proud of all the poets that went.
Teen Summit 2016, we out here day 2.
Let's get it, let's get it.
Without further ado,
We'd like to welcome your host for this evening, Joshua Bennett.
Joshua Bennett, I love him. That's my husband. He came. Oh my gosh, I can't.
Basically, my job for tonight, I think, is just gonna be to make sure everyone gives all of the energy possible, all of the energy that's in their human bodies to the beautiful, brilliant, imaginative, courageous young people that are gonna touch the stage. Is that all right? All right, cool. So for the rest of the night, if you hear something you like, I need you to say, amen. Okay, get 'em, poet. Ooh, what's that in your hair? I like it. Co-wash, coconut oil, shea butter. What is that? What are you doing? How do you pull it all together, right? We need that kind of energy every time you see somebody touch the stage.
Trayvon Martin was an innocent soul walking home alone in the light of the night when a white man didn't feel safe in his presence, so he reached for his gun and pulled the trigger quicker than I could say to you these words.
I was playing.
That I don't feel safe in my own skin.
Box, how dare you speak that word to me? After all the pain and the strife, after over 6 million lost their life, don't ever in your life refer to me as no nigga.
Ain't no way in hell I'd leave your side because you stayed by mine when my daddy left me hanging on his clothesline of memories. He left his backbone with it. Act like he don't know where we're living, how a phone work. He don't call me. Blind to my accomplishments, compliments must taste bad in his mouth. He don't say them too often.
I am tired of your backhanded compliments. You telling me that I'm pretty for a black girl is like telling me I look nice enough to be a house nigga. And I thought that we left the plantation years ago. I will no longer allow myself to be enslaved under your brown girl beauty standards. I am learning to be cuckoo for my own damn Cocoa Puffs, and I will read this poem. And I will read this poem to every boy who thinks that he's entitled to a taste.
Let's keep it going for Jaleisha. A cuckoo for my own Cocoa Puffs. Let's go. Let's get it. Talk to him. Woo.
Like me personally, that was like the most validated as a human being I feel like I've ever been in my entire life. Like me being validated as a person, my dreams of being a teacher were validated by being able to lead a town hall, and then I felt validated as a poet after I performed, and it was just a good time. Like, I don't know.
In our classroom space at Central on the 3rd floor, you look out, we have this great view of the river. And there's this retention wall that separates the railroad tracks from the river. You always try to like hype young people up to be a part of your program. And I remember in this moment looking back there and thinking, we're going to put a mural on that wall. And I'm going to tell these young people that we're going to put a mural on that wall because...
And I remember I was like, are you crazy? Like, why are you telling these kids this?
If you speak it into existence, right? It will happen, or it is more likely to happen. The city kind of surprisingly came back to us and was like, well, why not take both sides of the wall?
Tell me how you got involved with graffiti.
Illegally. My crewmate, Asfate, he got me down for some projects, and from then on, it just started catching on through our murals and stuff like that.
I was always a hip-hop head, so I was always involved with the culture and around it. So you can use that for a lot of different techniques to make things flow. You can sketch out things like that, and it gives it more of a pencil look. But there's also a strategy to turning it that way, and that strategy is to not mess up Fate's piece.
I was hesitant to go because I was like, man, is this really something that I want to do? Would I be successful at it? And it's something that I became started to love, and I just love the art of graffiti.
Yeah, I think I started in April. As soon as the graph class started, the opportunity just fell in my hands, so I just took it. I had nothing to do at the time, and it just was great.
Asfate, I could look up to him like an older brother, sort of,
You need to start fading. Remember that technique, you turn it. Yeah. Okay.
He teaches me all the fundamentals of graffiti, and it's not only that, but it's also fundamentals to life.
I've learned a lot personally about myself with graffiti.
Me finding a way where I no longer had to create this art in an illegal fashion, and to be able to give kids that right away from the time they start developing is crazy, because we never had that opportunity. That's the importance of having this wall. Where this wall comes from, its history, how many different writers have hit this wall. There's hundreds of people that have hit this illegally. And so now that there's gonna be illegal mural writing on it, and I know the majority of the writers in the city are gonna respect it, man, you can't do anything but love that, you know what I'm saying?
I actually found out on Facebook, it said that the mural was erased. And I was like, what? This is an abomination. I was so surprised that the city would do that. The words that were on there, ideas are forever and writing is sacred, How could you erase those words without going into depth of why is it on the wall?
I was mad when they painted over it because that took a lot of time and it was very detailed. We had it all planned out.
Graffiti writing is an expression of yourself, really. When you go and you choose a name, a 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 letter name that represents you, and you're putting it everywhere. Yeah, in one sense that's vandalism to people, but outside of that, it's an expression of who you are. And it's an extension of oneself. And that's why people become so dedicated to putting their name everywhere, because they're essentially saying, I exist here, and I existed here. So a lot of the kids felt it, they took it hard because of that connection and what they felt they put into the work.
I really thought it was over after that, and I kind of was just giving up on the city a little bit.
But when I saw so many people from different walks of life who we had no connection to whatsoever, speak out and speak on behalf of the kids.
The community reaction surprised me at how many people that reached out to us, and helped us.
We were given permission to start a GoFundMe account, and then it was just ding, 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 ding. We had raised close to $5,000 in 24 hours.
When I found out all the love people were showing and the support, it was oh yeah, I definitely have to figure out a way to come back.
That's why I love Des Moines, though. You know what I'm saying? Des Moines' greatest asset is its people. And you got to see that when this mishap occurred.
I appreciate everybody. Thank y'all, man. Really, thank you guys.
I snatched him out of the hallway one day. I was like, you need to come spit some bars. Come to workshop. Come get down. And then he wrote a zombie poem, and then from then it was game over.
He's funny. Most people think he's really quiet, but he is comedy.
He's so humble about it. When I first met him, I would not have thought he was like Grand Slam champ.
You have potential to fly. They've locked you in a cage but haven't clipped your wings. Understand that education is key to California zoos. No matter the time, clocks just show you time being wasted with a 9:35, 9:30, 9:25, 25 rounds in a 9. That piece is a waste of time. I didn't leave.
I love Julio to death. Like, that's my brother. Like, that, well, like, blood couldn't make us any closer. Like, that's my man. Like, he really motivates me because he's just so young, like, wild and just free.
Believe me, I rip these words from the bottom of my heart because too many of my relatives have become statistics.
I came here when I was almost 15. No English at all. He used to play baseball and he's like, and I said, okay. And he said, I don't want to play baseball anymore. It's like, okay, I'm not going to push you something that you not want to do. So he got into poetry, and since then, he kept doing it. He doesn't stop yet. In my family, we have a lot of related people that have been killed, drugs, jail.
I used to like hang out with runk crowds. I was very like disrespectful of my mentors and teachers and stuff. And at the time, I was really just trying to fit in with what was cool. And in 7th grade, I realized that sometimes you just have to make your own cool and like your own path.
And every time I see him to perform, is no definition, no words to express myself, and my heart is too small to get the emotion I have inside of me.
Since the first day I ever got there, my first ever show, like I love seeing their smiles when I perform, when I get up there. And like I always love making my mom cry after a poem. And it's just like excitement from the crowd and from my mom.
He wrote a poem for Mom. Oh my God, that made me cry.
Man, I lost count of how many times I told my mother I would pay back her efforts on me. She's creased her hands hard enough to crease a smile on my face like a reflection in stained glass windows when her sun rises. That was a metaphor for me. I licked my thumb and glue my mama's picture to the sky. She's the only goddess I look up to. What more inspiration do I need? Thank you, mama.
When I seen her cry, like I knew I won. Because I knew she knows when I'm doing my best.
I even told him like, where's my poem? And he just laughed and everybody was laughing because I'm like, what about that?
Our home was in pieces, but I found my voice under the scraps of our family's catastrophe. And I want to thank my father for reconstructing our home. You did what some fathers couldn't. You were capable of putting love back together so carefully. I thank you for your craftsmanship. I couldn't pay you back any other way. When my mother and father split apart, I found home in a science classroom at North, starting with 7 people willing to help me grow from a zombie poem to now. The true meaning of family is having a movement praise your presence and having a mother and father willing to travel across the country to watch you be 0.8 points away from a final stage when my mother and father canceled their divorcement. My brother and sister had no idea, but I was the happiest boy alive. And it is where it has brought me. No matter how far I go, I will always remember that home is all that matters. And family will always grow. Thank you.
Share the Mic is our way of giving back to the community, our way of giving poets a chance to spit and perform without the competition and without that pressure.
Organizations write in and say, this is what we need the money for, this is a little bit about us, and then the students get to vote on what they want and where that money goes to. All the proceeds from the door go to that. So it's really the students coming together, their voices being heard on a platform to raise money for a great cause.
Please welcome to the stage Mr. Rollins and Mr. Woods.
Walk into your feet, break concrete.
And crush conditions placed on love with emoji prayer hands. And speak truth until your thumb hurts.
Love, Dad.
I was a loser, a nobody, a chalk lying on the concrete. Every day I dealt with the same people, I heard the same lines, and what did I do? I took in what they said, I became those words.
I don't know how to talk to you. You see, that's why I wrote this poem for you. My hands, they begin to shake, and my legs, they begin to shake. Just to tell me that you're not ordinary. No, you're different. No, you're a flower blossoming.
The portion of rapists who will ever see a day in prison is as milky as my skin, 2%. We are the voices and the victims of a downright dirty system, so we spit bars behind bars, avoiding certain bars on bars on bars. We declare our independence from this never-ending fight and demand the basic freedom to walk alone at night. Again, we are really, really close to making that $1,000 goal tonight for YES, which is Youth Emergency Service and Shelter.
Everybody, you know,
It was so cool to have one person go up there, and then the other, and then like 5 other kids, and 10 other kids, and the whole crowd come in and give him money.
I remember having like a front row seat to the entire event. I believe it was Rashawn, right, who was carrying the money, and it was falling out of his hands because people were just running and running down the stage of Sheslow just to give him more money. And I think we raised over like $1,000. It was amazing, but a lot of that money came from youth. So our community not only gives space to youth, but we're giving back to youth.
I think that the thing that struck me the most was the majority of the people coming to the stage were the young people in our audience.
Can we just like look at all these young people getting their money? This is incredible. Like, who says youth don't care? Who says youth don't care? This is youth money to you. That's what's up.
It was crazy because like my pockets were like full. Like I couldn't even fit any more money. Like people were just stuffing money in my pockets, change. I'm dropping like, you know, $20 bills.
You turn around, there's more people, like a whole bunch more. And then we thought everybody was done giving like their money and stuff. And then all of a sudden like a swarm of people came up there. I'm just like, y'all better give. Like I'm like, come on with it.
But it was great to see that because it was like positive peer pressure. So like after one did it, they was like, oh yeah, like he's doing it, like we should do it. So everybody just started contributing and like donating. I was like, this is what Movement 515 stands for.
Like it was crazy, but it was so dope at the same time because it was like all these people care, and it's the youth that are doing it. When people say that the youth don't care and we're just out here like running around, it's like that shows you that we actually do care.
I know all of you just seen that. And that marks over 1,000 right there. So
I know that a couple of dollars and stuff doesn't seem like a lot to you guys, but when it adds up like this, it's really a huge deal. It really is.
A lot of our students who come to 515 say that they are judged based on what they wear, what they sound like, how they speak, what they look like, the color of their skin. But I really wish that if we could just take that moment and show people, look at all these kids running downstage just to give money to Youth Emergency Services and Shelter. Like, yes, an organization that basically, you know, provides safe spaces for kids. If you could just see that, why would you call them thugs? Why would you call them anything but kind and beautiful and leaders? It breaks my heart. So I have a lot of love for these kids, and I will probably fly across the room to defend them.
Everybody in the 515!
Last Friday, snaps to last Friday, right? Y'all as a community raised over $1,000 for the YES. So when we talk about using our voices to make an impact and to create change in the community, that's what we're talking about, right? Remember, our goal each month is that you have at least one finished product of a poem based on the theme for that month. You're never required to write about that particular theme, but if you're in writing workshop, performance workshop, you should be gearing up to have a plethora of poems in your backpack to spit and to slam and to be ready to go.
I want you to think about the place that you consider home. And if that home could talk, what would the walls of your home say? what would they spit? If your home had a perspective, or if your home had a voice, what would it say? What does it see? So this is called a persona poem, where you write from the voice of something other than yourself. And in this case, it's a structure.
If my walls could speak, they would say, wake your ass up. They would say, thank the Lord thy God for allowing you to live another day. Some are so unfortunate not to live another day. My walls would say, be grateful.
501! Pause up! Another one!
Pause up!
What we came to do? Eat! What? Eat! What? Eat! Mrs. Lang is going to give you a sheet. On that sheet, there is going to be an animal. There are 6 animals. That's your hint. You can only communicate with each other using the animal sound that animal makes. You need to find the rest of your pack. You need to get vulnerable on stage. Sometimes that means getting really uncomfortable. Making animal noises sounds really silly. And some of you are like, oh hell no, I'm not about to make an animal noise. Right?
But you're gonna.
But you're gonna.
You may not use words. You may only use sound. You have not found your group. When you hear your animal sound, join your group.
Hopefully you got something out of it, right? Again, the idea is like, yeah, it's silly. But it also forces you to be vulnerable.
There's a lot of students that will come and they're very shy. Like for example, Elandra. The first time that she had done a poem, I had teachers coming up to me saying like, I didn't even know she spoke.
Most people think that I don't speak or whatever until I open my mouth. So yeah.
But then they turn around and tell me I'm too aggressive when I speak. Like I have a pack of lions resting on my tongue. So when I speak, I grunt my teeth like I mean it. Because they don't like when you mean it. I have a fire in my belly. The strength of 10 men. Now I understand why my mother is so angry. Because she didn't get the little girl she wanted. She got a beast.
Man, that Elandra girl has some soul.
She's one of the best. Freaking a monster. Like, she'll tear it up anytime she gets on stage.
If you were to look up fierce in the dictionary, you would find a picture of Elandra Brazel, I swear.
Her poetry is out of this world. Like sometimes she brings something to me or she brings something to the stage and I am just like, I have no idea how you wrote this. This is phenomenal.
The piece that I'm probably most proud of was probably my little girl piece, simply because it was my story and I was so afraid to tell it.
Tick tock, banana rock, tick tock, banana rock, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Wash those boy germs off of me. Hi, my name's Elandra and I'm 5 and my birthday's in June. My teachers and my mom say I'm shy, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what a lot of things mean because no one's ever taught me. They threw me in a pool and forgot teaching me how to swim. Didn't tell me there was a difference between floating and drowning. Just like I grew up thinking that surviving and suffering were the same thing.
It took me a while to write the poem, but because I wanted it to be special and I wanted it to be perfect. So when I wrote it and I performed it, it would be, unique.
My mother didn't get a chance to tell me about the birds and the bees. He already showed me. Didn't get to have that talk with me because he was already inside of me. Me? Well, I like to play outside and I like to play house. I usually play by myself, but not anymore because he's around. I remember months after him leaving, my mother asking me if I'd be scared if he came over again. No. I'm scared that once again, everyone will say that they didn't know.
That caught me so much off guard. Like when I seen that poem, I'm just like, man, like you took it to a whole nother level. Like you gave us that experience that people don't usually get from like poetry.
She's an amazing person. She's an amazing poet. Like I really think she's gonna be famous one day. I'm gonna be telling everybody I knew her.
Elandra has it. I think a lot of our young people are intimidated by her because she's so good.
I'm the champ.
No, he cheats at everything.
I'm the champ in this family.
No.
Do you know how to play it?
Nope.
Well, sit back and watch. Watch your uncle cheat. I don't cheat. I'm very competitive. Like very chill.
anything that Jalil does, he's basically like good at. Like if he's singing, if he does poetry, if he's doing anything, he puts his whole heart into it.
Why is this happening to me?
Because I'm a winner.
No.
I told you I'm a winner.
I was in class and I'm like, would we get disqualified if I perform with Jalil? And I'm like, because everyone's been waiting for us to do a poem, so I'm like, we might as well do it now. He's a senior, like, let's do it. I knew that people weren't expecting us to perform together, so like he's like, they're like East, and then he walks up there and I'm clapping like I'm not going up there. So then I walk up there, like I walk past people and they're like, oh my God, they're performing together, blah, blah, blah. It was crazy.
For your mama is so lonely, and your daddy's name was Pain. The process of making it was nerve-wracking because we don't see eye to eye when it comes to writing poetry.
Like we could not get it together like that whole time. Like it was not working. Like even the like maybe like 20 minutes before we performed, like it was just not working. And I tell people like there's something about the stage.
If walls could talk, they tell you everything my mother is afraid to.
Our home had never felt comfortable.
The last time my mother told me she loved me, it's like it hurt the both of us.
My home is built up from abuse. Mama always told me what happens in this house stays in this house.
And then he wanted me to sing in the piece, and like I'm not a singer.
I was like, it's about time somebody heard that you actually can sing like she really sings.
Why you wanna fly, little blackbird? You ain't gonna fly, soar so high.
Jalil's poem and Elandra's poem, like I was like, yo, I've been waiting for this poem for years. Like you guys finally dropped it.
Mama is so lonely, and your daddy's name was Pain.
Summer Fam Jam.
Yeah, Summer Fam Jam. It's like the celebration at the end of the school year.
Yeah.
You know, we've done it 2 years now, and both years it's been on. I think we're close to the last day of the school year for the youth, and we really want it to be just a celebration of all the things that we've accomplished and a way for them to cut loose and you know, get prepared to go off into the summertime. We had all this art and urban leadership that we had created throughout the year, and we really wanted other people to be able to see it. We wanted to highlight it and showcase it. And so during discussions with Des Moines Social Club, an idea had come up of utilizing the gallery space.
Everybody make some noise, keep that energy up, y'all.
Well, no more. I am done being locked away in this cage, but you get to get my heart like termites.
That's my sister.
We want to put on a community showcase that's a little more family friendly, and so we bring in the food trucks and it's free food for everyone. And again, it's just a way to kind of welcome in the summer for our young people and to thank them, I think, for all the hard work that they've put in throughout the year for us. You know, always coming through, and it's hard memorizing a poem. It's hard to be asked and challenged to be at all these shows and all these workshops, and when they come through, you know, they deserve something that they can just kind of relax and enjoy.
We would like to have all of the RunDSM scholarship applicants to come to the stage, please. We just want to honor these 7 youth activists, poets, lovers, scholars, the leaders of our city, and know that yes, this is a really, really, really big thing, but you going on to college is much, much, much bigger. So if you can put your hands together for these seniors. I will announce the RunDSM scholarship recipient, who will be receiving $5,818 to attend higher education. And the winner of the RunDSM scholarship is Mr. David Ewing.
One thing that we've really worked hard to do with Summer Fam Jam is provide space for our young people that are maybe experimenting in hip hop or starting to create their own music.
Daddy was a hustler, baking soda with his wrist and heavy lotion. All the mixing in my kitchen, rocking these no with that
I remember the first time I saw a Movement 515 show was Share the Mic, and I remember looking up on stage when Emily and Christopher both came up on stage and everybody was like screaming their name and they were like rock stars, and I thought, okay, student teaching right now, I want to become a rock star like them. I want to become just as awesome. I want students who I can communicate with and build community with, and I just remembered thinking, how can I get involved?
Give me a T-T-Y. I'm petty all the time. Give me a T.
Okay, but y'all, have you listened to Lemonade? When I was listening to like the first 3 songs, I was like, oh man, Jay-Z better like be sleeping with one eye open. She is ready to like crack it.
Nobody cheats on Beyonce.
The first 10 minutes is usually community. We just party. Sometimes we sing a little bit of TLC. We hang out, and then we go into workshop like you saw. Hello, 515. It's our last official workshop of this school year. Boo! Yeah. So we want to circle up for our community builder because we're going to do some affirmations. I want you to do an affirmation to the squad or to a specific member in the squad. We want to build up energetic reciprocity, which means what?
Building each other up and never tearing each other down.
Right. So my examples for you would be, this person gave me courage when they, or this person helped me grow as a poet by, or is a pillar of the movement because, is an example of leading with love because, is the definition of energetic reciprocity because. This one's for Tyrell, for always giving affirmations even going through his own things. You all have given me so much. I'm gonna miss y'all to death. Keep the energy squad. Oh, I get one. I didn't know that. Okay, Lynn, me. I always always giving us safety and validation. Oh, I love you. Maddie, star. I love how your words are so crazy put together. I think your concepts jump over people's heads sometimes. Hey. Yeah. You're a shooting star.
Yeah, keep it.
So we've got our affirmations, and like 80% of these affirmations are, you gave me a voice. You gave me a space to find my voice. You gave me opportunities to have a family, to have people who don't judge me, people who love me unconditionally. You come to school carrying the things that you have at home. You know, people, like some teachers believe that when you walk in the door, you should be a blank slate. But we know that's not true. We know that English is probably not your priority if you're worried about what's going on at home. If you have issues with your friends right now, if mom or dad haven't been around in a while. So 515 gives youths an opportunity to really express themselves in a safe way. We've stuck through a lot together.
Oh, yeah.
Both fall and spring, and I really want to thank you for letting me be your poet mentor, especially since this was my first year with 515 officially. I used to be in the crowd in the back, and I saw at Share the Mic how much love there was in the community in the front. I just remember thinking, I want to be a part of that. I want to do that too. So I'm really proud that our squad's grown so much. Love y'all. Love you too. Brave Share, do we have anybody who would like to nominate someone, or would you like to nominate yourself? Space is yours.
I met most of you guys for the first time this year, for crying out loud. And I hope that one day we can all come back together and spit one huge group poem to show that Roosevelt 515 is live and never dies.
I want to thank you guys for watching me grow as a poet. Okay, I'm gonna sit it now. But thank you. I just had to. Okay. Dad, it's been a year and 5 months since heaven called you home, and some days I still find myself waiting for you to call. I know most times I didn't answer, but I appreciated the voicemails, the same voicemails that are now muffled by my tears. Dad, you know they drowned me sometimes. Losing you made me stronger than what I thought I would ever be. Dad, I hope you can see me. I hope heaven's windows are open. I hope you're looking down on me, because I want you to hear me and I want you to see me. Dad, thank you for showing me how strong I can be.
I come for myself. I think that's really selfish of me to say, but when I'm here and when I see them and when I get inspired by them, I feel so much better. There have been days this year where I felt like, is this right for me? Am I doing a right job? But then I remember, group hug! I have 515 kids who love me. I have 515 kids who message me because they need someone who will listen to them. I'm glad that I'm the adult that you think is safe, the adult that you know loves you and likes you, because that's what I tell them every single time. I love you and I like you, because there's a difference and both of those things matter. So yeah, it's really healing for me too. I got the lucky end of the D, I really think I did.
Will you ever quit?
No!
We want some more! We want some more!
Okay, it's my squad, y'all.
Like if I wouldn't have joined Movement 515, if there's a possibility that I could have been dead or locked up in jail and not being able to see my mom when she got out of jail, and it would have been like all of my family has been in the system at that point, like because it would have been my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, and me. I didn't want that to happen.
I think parts of his middle school life, he found himself on park benches with no place to go, just waiting on the sun to rise until he could get to school the next day or whatever it was.
After everything that has happened, I just felt like I was supposed to crumble. Like I'm just another troubled child, and that was it. Like I didn't know about like using my story to inspire other people that are going through the same thing. I just knew that it was just like, oh yeah, I'm just not doing what I'm supposed to do. I guess I'm a bad child. I guess I'm just gonna end up in jail. So Mr. Rollins and Miss Lang showed me like the art of poetry.
He was the kid that would just come to school and act out because he was angry at everybody else and everything else that was happening. It wasn't necessarily that he didn't want to be in school, he didn't have any other way of coping or expressing what he was going through.
I started to become more like successful and outgoing and more talkative and like more open.
When he touches that stage, it's crazy, like he owns that stage.
He does a poem about him like being like homeless for a period of time, and he says something like, for a long time I always ate ramen, but these streets turn young boys into raw men.
We didn't have a lot, and I hated the taste of ramen, but the streets made us raw men dodge. Becoming a lost angel, us, be gritting teeth and balling fist up. We are soldiers of combat, and we're the only ones left fighting.
I've been known Rashawn for a really long time, and I can actually think about the first time I ever saw him on stage. He did like a backflip, just like on stage, and everyone was like, what?
Rashawn, that's my brother.
I'm still breathing, I can no longer feel the sun. I haven't grown into my barks yet. It takes time to love your surface.
When nobody appreciates it.
I remember climbing on trees as a boy. My feet always kiss the ground once more. I was never left hanging.
I have so much respect for him, and I know that a lot of people do too, just because of what he's been through and how he is now.
They asked who wanted to run for president, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Did a speech, and it was like, yeah, like we want him.
Rashawn, he was a student class body president, and he got to introduce Barack Obama because he came and did a speech about education and the education system.
I thought it was a lie at first. So somebody was talking to me about the president coming. I was like, oh, okay. And then the president comes like the next day. Like, oh my God, he's here.
My principal told me, and then like the White House called me.
I remember Rashawn calling us and being like, hey, guess what I get to do?
Right.
And we were just sort of like, it was just another one of those things where we were like, of course you do, honey. Of course you do.
Why,
like,
of all people,
who else has the gusto?
It's got to be you.
Please give a warm round of applause for Rashawn Johnson.
Hello, my name is Rashawn Johnson. I'm going to start off by telling you why education is important to me. It's because education is more than just knowledge. It's power. It's knowing right from wrong and how much you're really willing to truly understand something. It means the world to me because I no longer feel lost. When I was younger, my education support was so little at a young age, I was already 2 steps behind, which really discouraged me to want to move further with my education. As time went by, I gained educational support from teachers such as Christopher Rollins and Emily Lang, who really connected with me and inspired me to do better with school. During this time, my mother was in prison, and she always remained in my corner and gave me a reason and someone to do it for. My plans after to graduate is to go to college and be a teacher or even a counselor, just so I'll always be able to help teenagers in need any way possible. I want the youth of today to know change is not a bad thing. It's a very good thing, because you have to decide how you want others to see you, how you see yourself. And it's up to you to choose how you want to spend the rest of your life. But why waste it when you can inspire people to do what you can do or what I did? Now, it is the honor to introduce the President of the United States, Barack Obama. Meeting Obama and like hugging him and shaking his hand, and I was just like, man, this is Obama, like President Obama, like the POTUS, like this is amazing.
Everybody give it up for Rashawn.
Like, this was just one of those sweet moments where you just thought, bravo, young man, like, oh.
Yeah, I was just like a beaming parent. Like I think that it was, it was that initial like disbelief. Like I can't believe, the young man that I knew in 6th grade is now introducing the President of the United States. And not only that, but like Barack Obama, like a legit president that I can actually get down with and support.
I'm not a crack baby, I'm just a cracked baby. I used to cry pieces of glass till I realized I can't hurt myself no more. She's addicted, but she's not perfect. She's addicted, but she's not perfect. I messed up, unfortunately, which cost me like the whole everything. Like, cost me everything. Like, everything that I worked for, like, I just lost it. If I would have like got through the poem, there was like a very, very high chance that I'd have been on the team.
In order for a student to qualify for Des Moines Brave New Voices team, they have to go through a semifinal round of a poetry slam and advance then to finals.
RunDSM's 4th annual Des Moines Teen Poetry Slam is at the Temple Theater.
So finals is gonna start out with 15 poets. I'm just gonna compete for one of the 6 spots on the team or the 7th spot. Entourage.
Tell her name isn't just a metaphor for things that decay, for things that die. These scars don't mark the things black women have been running from. They show you how hard it is to catch a queen when her crown is falling.
From low to high, I got a 9.7, a 9.9, a 9.9, a 9.9, and a 10. Give it up for the poet.
But that's fine with me, just as long as you know, while the sun is still shining, and long after that, I refuse to stop telling men that they will never have the right to any woman's body of water. Ladies, if a man ever tells you you're being too tsunami, too outspoken, too beachy, make sure you show him this feminist and her poetry.
From low to high, I got a 9.7, a 9.8, a 9.9, a 9.9, and a 10. Give it up for the poet.
Because as a third baseman, I was reaching the tag one person at a time rather than 60,000 altogether. My stance was always still. I became the catcher to every challenge thrown at me, from 1 dream, 3 dreams to 5. I used my voice as a base because I knew that if I ever got lost in this field, I would always find home and I would always be safe. Even if I could never hit a home run in baseball, I still managed to hit a grand slam in poetry.
catching up, I always finish first. I'm humble, but I'm also hungry. They don't call me a beast for no reason. I know y'all won't like me after this piece, but I can't sit on my tongue anymore. Won't let you just walk off with my stuff. But you know what? You want my spot so bad, I'll let you test it out. Here, put on the crown. When you've been on the B&V team more than me, spit better than me, captivated audience better than me, then I'll let you have my crown. You ever wonder why the top of a pyramid is so small? Because it's only meant for one. This is for the fragile. This is for the fragile, for the ones without a backbone. Your head doesn't even sit up straight when you put it on. Your shoulders are about to lose its balance. Give it back. This is only for royalty.
From low to high, say it with me.
Dudes from my old hood don't really fuck with me no more. Like, my intellect be too white for the niggas, acting like my future too bright for the niggas, and all I try to do is right for the niggas. Since when has caring about my future been a white thing? Since when has being intelligent been associated with white culture? All I'm trying to do is make it from being on this stage, so I can get my mom a big house with the wraparound front porch and get my niggas out of the hood so we don't find another one of my brother's bodies in water. 7 of my childhood friends has died from the withspan of June to now, and I'm still standing. I'm an abandoned building with damaged architecture, and God, I'm still standing.
Yes, yes. Say it with me. A 10, a 10, a 10, a 10, and a 10.
Our 7th member and alternate, Madison Johnson. In 4th place, Linda. Tied for 3rd place, Julio and Jaya. Tied for 2nd place, Elandra and Jaleisha. The evening, Rashawn Johnson.
Feeling pretty excited, mostly because we're going to land there and see Washington, D.C. I'm ready to compete with this wonderful team of mine, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
I'm feeling so excited.
Oh my God, I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling excited. Like everything just, I don't know. I'm jittery.
Very nervous, but ready to go build with some really dope youth. You know, like this is family. Like for all of us to be together in the space and to have young people's family members here, it's like a joyous occasion. It's a great send-off.
I'm nervous because this is my first plane ride. My mom keeps acting like I'm gonna die.
My stomach is in knots. I know she'll come back safe. That's not my issue. It's just we've never been apart this long.
I'm ready to get there, touch down, show people what we can do, and win.
We've been grinding hard. We've had days where we've done double practices from 1 till 8 p.m., working on writing, working on performance. I mean, this year the team has put in so much work. It's like, it'll blow your mind.
There's not going to be a favorite because all of our pieces are just all great.
Now we're ready to just bask in the air at B&B and soak it all in.
Poetry slams, workshops, town halls, professional development, love, building, growth. I think it's going to be a really, really great time.
Every year it gets better and every year it gets stronger.
It's been amazing. I mean, they started out with a PowerPoint and 1 student, and look where they are now. You know, they just focus on always leading with love, and it's amazing what the program has evolved into, and I'm so proud.
The biggest thing is I want their stories to be heard. We always say in Movement 515, get free. So whatever is on their hearts, I want them to be able to get free. I want them to captivate an audience, hold their attention, and allow their stories to be heard.
Oh, we out.
Can we just talk about how Lee is the coach, working with words on performance, former BNV alumni out here doing the thing. She's gonna be going to the BNV Brave Leaders Conference with us, bringing back extra growth for the state of Iowa. That's what it's all about.
She's like, I'm grown.
Don't care. She's like, be gone. Have fun. See you when I see you.
Say bye.
Do you want me to go up since I'm on the thing with her?
First time flyer right here.
I feel like we have just begun. Like, I think that we're about to spread like wildfire.
It's gonna explode. I feel like every student of Des Moines Public Schools is gonna be a member of Movement 5 and 5.
I think I've grown with new standards and new goals.
I definitely want to be known for being a poet and an activist.
I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to do a lot of things.
I've actually been applying for colleges.
I want to go to Drake University. That's like my dream college.
I want to be the person who breaks the generational curses in my family.
I want to create my own RunDSM. I want to open up my own social club.
I just want to write, like anything.
My goal is actually to become an urban leadership teacher.
One of my goals is to teach poetry.
I want to be a teacher, English teacher.
I'm just so lucky, and I'm so happy, and I hope that it lasts forever. And eventually the ultimate goal would be for the youths to lead it. That would be so cool. If we as mentors and as adults could step back so that they could have the space completely, that would mean so much. And I think we're getting there, definitely.
Rollins and Lane is putting what they've learned in their lifetime into us, so that way we spread it out to the younger generations. And then from then on, it's contagious.